tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sober Thursday. I was just in a meeting and I found out that it's Memorial Day weekend this weekend. That's how much I care. You know what? You want to know what I call Memorial Day? Monday. I don't give a fuck. I don't get invited to barbecues and shit. I've been invited to a barbecue and I can't even remember how long it's been. That's not true. I was invited to Dragon's Den to hear a band play. Dragon's Den is an AA club in Colorado. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Heather. Good to see you both. We got Instagram on today. I tried to do it through Restream, but it ain't posting it, so I'm just doing it the old-fashioned way. The new old-fashioned way, because there's the old-fashioned way, and then there's the new old-fashioned way. Yeah. The old-fashioned way would be I would write you a letter and you would receive it in about a week. Actually, we used to get mail quicker. Not as fast now. Weird, huh? Today we're reading out of A Day at a Time. It's Hazelden literature. All right. It's Hazelden literature, which should be AA approved literature soon. I thought they had some other stuff on here. Here we go. Do they have a clapping sound? See, I can make it so that, here we go. That way you're getting a nice little. That's not chill to me. A little too fast for chill. Minimal house. World music. Corporate. Let's try corporate. Let's see what we get. God, I feel so corporate. I'm feeling so incorporated. Let's try one more. Ambient. Oh, nature sound. Nature sounds or rain. Let's do nature sounds. Just kidding. Nature sounds. Oh, all right. That's enough of that. Heather says it certainly is, considering there is less use of USPS, but that's the government for you. Yeah, that's the government for you. Open up the window, get a little bit of air. Good morning, Brandon. It is good to see you. I hope you are doing well. Let's do some introductions and get started. Let's do it. Welcome to Daily Trudge. Dion, host, most, who likes toast. See, I can rap. You're here. Please say hello, whether you're watching live or the rewatch. You might be a rewatcher. Bren and Heather both say it's humid and extra moist and cold and damp in Michigan. I'd still rather live in Michigan. At least then I could help people. Colorado is very, very hard to do. There's so much bullshit in the way. What's my Instagram handle? Oh, I don't know. What is my Instagram handle? I think it's Trudging Together. But I have to look. I think it's Trudging Together. Yeah, it's Trudging. It's Trudging lower dash. Here, I'll put it in here. There you go. That is my Instagram handle. All right. My handle. I don't do much on Instagram. I'm doing this, but I mostly use Instagram to watch. Lately, I've been watching a lot of Cat Williams. He's hilarious. He is. That guy's hilarious, and he's smart. So I really enjoy it. I watch funny videos in there. Anything that pops up with recovery, I X out because I get a little tired of it. So, yeah. All right, let's get started. Freely received, freely given. May 22nd. Reflection for the day. It's a day at a time. Let's do it. When I first listened to people on the program talking freely and honestly about themselves, I was stunned. Stunned. I was bowled over. Surprised. I couldn't think of enough adjectives. Oh, right. I was stunned. I was bowled over. Yeah, when you first go into an AA meeting, you might be surprised at the transparency and how easily it is for us to talk about our past. I do not mind talking about my past. My past can no longer be used against me. I've settled it. All right. Brenda Shares has joined us on Instagram. Welcome. She says LG is more current. Could you let me know what LG is? You got me. You kind of got one on me there. I do not know what LG is. So you might be able to teach me something here, right? But we talk freely. We kind of talk freely about we kind of talk freely about our past. It's our experience, strength, and hope, right? But we've got to IG. Okay, got it. It was LG, it was not LG, it was IG. Okay. Thank you, Brenda. Whoo, right over my head, right? That's what I would call a dunk dunk whoosh. Dunk dunk whoosh. Right. So yeah. Their stories of their own addictive escapades, of their own secret fears, and of their own gnawing loneliness were literally mind blowing to me. Yeah. We can talk about this stuff now, though. There's a lot of freedom in that fourth and fifth step. Does that mean I bring up everything that I've ever done? I really don't talk about my past much in the meetings unless I was at a gratitude meeting the other day and everybody kept talking about their war stories. I won't do war stories unless unless I'm going to show my improvement on it. Unless I'm going to there's got to be a reason I'm telling it. Most of the time when I'm sharing my story, it is probably because my birthday. Maybe I'm just plain telling my story. Maybe I use my past when a newcomer comes in so I can meet them where they are at. That's what somebody did for me. I came in desperate. A man approached me, said, Dion, you need to find God in a hurry. I want to help you. And it worked. Took 2 years for somebody to come up and say they'd be my sponsor. I didn't hear something. I was too out of it. I've been, they installed a rotating door for me because I was in and out so much. Woo, 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 woo. It's getting that spin of insanity. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. In that revolving door of life trying to get sober, a lot of frothy emotional appeal, right? See, when I joined AA years and years and years ago, they used to ask who here needs a sponsor, and that's why I kept raising my hand, but that's not what they were saying. They were saying, is anybody here willing to sponsor? They must have thought I was nuts because I kept raising my hand. I couldn't hear it. I was just trying to go with the flow of what I knew AA was like. It's not a change I'm big on. I understand it though, right? So when I'm talking to somebody new, right? I used to be like that. And why do we do that? Because we alcoholics feel like we're terminally unique when we come into this program. Yeah. We don't feel like there's anybody out there that has the problems that we do. It's a very lonely business being an alcoholic. Very, very lonely. We understand loneliness like few people do. It really sets us apart. Alcohol wants to set us apart. I apologize if this gets a little too religion-y. I'm not a religious person. Hold on a second. Neighbor's doing something, right? So I believe that alcohol in and of itself is a demonic spirit. And when I put it in my body, it gets to take over because I am susceptible to it. What do evil entities usually want from people? Isolation. They want them all to themselves, right? What does alcohol do to us? It drives away everything good in our lives, does it not? Doesn't it make us do things that we would not normally do? If we had not been drinking, we wouldn't have done those things, that making the phone calls, the text messages, everything else that we do. Yeah, I believe that we are taken over by a demonic force. And the only thing that can save you from a demonic force is what? God. There's just too many similarities. Now, take that as you want. Please take it as an example. It is the way I kind of see it. But what I'm just trying to do is give you, if you have a different example of how you see it, I'd love to hear about it. One of the things that we do here is, if your experience is different than mine, then we want to hear about it. Even if it goes directly against what I'm doing, it doesn't matter. People need to hear different experiences, right? I encourage to listen to other people besides me. I'm not the only person out there, man. I'm not. And if you try and stay sober by my podcast and my stuff alone, it'll work for a little bit. And thank you for that. I appreciate the compliment. But you need to hear things from other people because I don't have all the answers. I have my experience, but that's about all that I have. Yeah. Morning, Amber. Good to see you. I was wondering where you at. Now I know why. Because you're at Isaac's kinder party. Woohoo! Yeah, last day of school for everybody. All right. You know what happens next? All the bombers start showing up back in those Zoom meetings. You watch this weekend. Well, after this weekend, it'll have to be a weekday when the parents are gone. All right, let's get back to this. I discovered, and hardly dared believe it at first, that I am not alone. Ooh. Not alone anymore. There's even been times I've been in the program and stuff, and I felt totally alone. It has to do with some of my other mental illnesses, right? In fact, the first one in today's daily reflection is kind of about that. We is the very first word in the big book. We is the very first word in our steps. Yeah. Because we do it together. So we almost relive the horrors of the past so that we can bring hope to other people. And there's a requirement: it can only be done freely. It cannot be done any other way. There's plenty of people still out there try, oh, I'm not charge, except they start with free, but there's always a charge. Nothing's entirely free. I say that, recovery is free and simple, but is it really free? Only in a monetary sense. And even then, we put $1 or $2 in the basket. That isn't necessarily free, is it? But compared to most things, it is, you can go to AA and never put $1 in the basket and nobody will ever say a fucking word to you. There you go. You don't need to. Not required. But you paid. Oh, it wasn't free at any point. It cost you, it almost cost you your life. It cost you friends. It cost you a career. It cost you family members. It cost you your soul. Yep. There was a price to be paid. But now we're willing to pay that price, aren't we? Now we're willing to pay that price because the consequences are different. The consequences are no longer so horrendous that it separates us from the rest of society. Now the consequences are good consequences. Heather says it changed the I to we, and we go from illness to wellness. See, it's alcoholism. You know what that means. So we have alcoholism. Well, if we take away the alcohol, what do we got? We got ism. I, self, and me. Alcoholism. So, yeah, we no longer have to live alone in a hostile world. I'm not all that different from everybody else. And in fact, we are all very much the same. We are. We think alike. Yes, we do. We may not agree with different opinions and things like that, but we do all think alike. It's why I'm really good at catching fraud, because I have a criminal mind. I do. I have a criminal mind. I can certainly go to that. It happens quite often. So it does something to me and I want to start plotting my revenge. It doesn't last as long anymore though. Right? And what is that? Well, that's progress. Right? It's progress. Progress. Getting this headache. Go away. Okay. I began to sense that I do belong somewhere, and my loneliness began to leave me. Do I try to give to others what has been given freely to me? Nothing so much ensures immunity from drinking or bad thoughts or self-pity or anger or rage or righteousness than intensive work with other alcoholics. It works when other activities fail. That means don't bother with the other activities. That's what it means to me. Just don't bother. I was trying to teach this to my son because I noticed something. I was upstairs and my grandson was playing with the remote, right? So my son goes, put down the remote. Please put down the remote. Put down the fucking remote. Don't go with the other activities. Go straight to put down the fucking remote. See, the other way builds up anger. Now you're angry. But when I get right to put down the fucking remote, I didn't have to get angry. I just had to boom the voice. Boom. Okay? Other activities fail. Why repeat it? Why repeat that part over and over and over again? Just get to the answer. The answer isn't always nice. The answer isn't always kind. It's the hard part of the program. It's the truth. It's the honesty of the program. Okay? We can't always be nice about everything that we do. There's sometimes I've had to be slapped around a few times to knock some fucking sense into me. Yes, I have. I've had to have people call me out on my bullshit. One guy I'm meeting, there's a problem every week, and I just got to figure out how I'm going to get this done. Not one at one point as he brought up a solution to any steps, and every week he just picks a new person that he likes. It's just kind of okay. But what are we? We are patient, tolerant, kind. Okay. And he has a problem with alcohol and he deserves to be there. He has earned the right to that fucking seat, no matter what I think. Then I think back to when I was raising my hand at the wrong time in those meetings. See, I understand his pain. I do. Do I have frustration about it? Clearly I do. What's the frustration? I want him to see the answer. I want him to get it. It's a different frustration. I'm not frustrated that he's going through problems. Not, we all got problems. Okay. But he isn't at the point where he can hear what people are telling him because a bunch of people gave him a solution, but he ain't going to take it. He's going to figure it out all by himself. And sooner or later, he will figure out he can't do it all by himself. And that's when he'll make the switch. Hopefully, he's still in the program then, though. And I hope it does happen. The people that irritate me the most in AA meetings are the people I want to make it the most. I've got to get to that. Why? Because God talks through his children and I don't get to pick which one. That's why. By not listening to other people in meetings, I am cutting off my nose to spite my face. I can't ask God for direction and then ignore his children. Can't do it. Heck, I've had people fresh in the program coming out of treatment. They heard something in treatment, they repeat. I'm like, oh shit, yeah. Very good point. I need to remember. I need to hear that today. Yeah, it's happened to me. And get pretty frustrating. But look at all the patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love given to us by other people while we were drinking and running around trying to destroy our neighborhoods. Now it's our turn. Or now it's my turn, right? But the importance here is I was freely given all of this. I received all of it freely. Every now and again, I'll get something from somebody saying, you're breaking tradition. I'm going to tell you, I'm walking a thin red line doing some of this. I'll tell you how I am blowing anonymity. I'll just tell you that. Because I am kind of blowing it a little bit. My name's up there. I'm on camera and my name is up there. Thing is, that can't be avoided. Notice I kept my last name out, but it's real easy to find me and stuff. That's Virgin on Tradition 11. It is. I'll admit it. I'm not breaking the tradition. You know what would happen? Now, what's the furthest that I go doing it here? I ask you to share. If you like what I do, please share it. Have I asked any of you for money? Have I asked any of you for your attention? Have I asked any of you for your likes, your loves? No, I don't make you comment. Freely received, freely given. Yeah. There are even things that I talk about here that I had to pay for to learn. And I'm still giving it to you for free. There's a clinical severe clinic. I have a clinical side. I could charge for that if I wanted to, but I choose not to. So yeah, I know. But what gets me is don't lump me in with everybody else. I am not the same. I have not met somebody else that does it the way that I do. Not yet. I'm sure I will. But I don't, it's not like I've searched either. But I don't like being lumped in with everybody else. It's like, let's see, I didn't get all the benefits when you guys were lumping yourself together, right? So I'm over here. So if I didn't get the benefits, then you're not going to lump me in. Ain't going to happen. All right. It looks like I'm losing people here, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap up. Besides, I got a doctor's appointment in 15 minutes. It's phone. May I begin to see, as the life stories of my friends in the program unfold for me, that our similarities are far more startling than our differences. As I listen to their accounts of addiction and recovery, may I experience that small shock of recognition, hey, that's me, feeling that is quick to chase away my separateness. May I give a wholehearted member of the group, may I become a wholehearted member of the group, giving and taking in equal parts. Today I'll remember sameness, not differences. So I've got to look for the similarities. Remember, I was talking about that guy a little bit earlier, right? Notice I had to find the similarities. Oh, I used to be that. I used to be that way. That's why it irritates me. Because, but for the grace of God, go I. That's why it irritates me. You know, it's not why that everything irritates me. I'm just, yeah. I've always been easily irritated. Not as much anymore. But I do have my triggers, right? But I know my triggers. So therefore, I can work with them, right? All right, that's gonna be it for this one. I hope everybody has a great graduation day or commencement, as some people call it. Personally, I never graduated from this to that. They didn't have any parties for us. They just said, it's summertime, get the fuck out. I'm not kidding. The teachers were just as ready. We'd be running out. Alice Cooper, school's out. Fall, summer. School's out. Forever. A party. I don't want to go a party. I want to go home. All right. Thank you, everybody, for absolutely, Heather. Heather says, appreciate the reminder. I was irritated in a meeting earlier for the same reason. Yeah. Isn't it cool? We can recognize that, right? We can recognize it. And what is that? Well, it's progress. It's progress. So good for us on progress. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.